any further community spread of the virus in the school. Let's move on to the Ghanaian Times newspaper. COVID-19 Delta variant more deadly. 34 cases recorded so far. JHS confirms calls for district enforcement for preventive protocol. Catholic Bishops' Conference slams military brutalities, calls for independent probe. The Daily Guide. Nana releases jailed ex-NDC MP. I remember when we actually had a discussion about Abu Gapeli on this platform, and there was, we called, we pleaded, we had phone calls and all that. So I'm particularly glad that our calls have been heeded too on health grounds. So other stories, commodity exchange connects more market, hands off ECG, court throws out PDS. Hands off ECG, court throws out PDS. Sports Ministry signs big deal for Black Stars, others. 2,127 students test positive for COVID-19. 2,127 students test positive for COVID-19. The New Crusading Guide, court throws out PDS action against government. Ex-IGP chases Kennedy at Japan's boy. And on the top right corner, Agbogloshi, decongestion is right call. King Taki Teiko Churu, the second Lord's Minister. Pantang Hospital director in trouble as family raises red flag over his dirty acts. Suspend Banka Hene over stolen $150,000 US. Group petitions NHC. The Insight. Demonstration. NDC snubs police, prepares to embark on protests. And then we also have, after chastising government for denying Ghanaian public holiday on July 1, SFG hails Nkrumah on 61st anniversary of Republic Day. Ejura killings. Oscar Park boss condemns act and calls for calm. The Informer. Military brutality. Chief of Army Staff apologizes to WA, promises to deal severely with perpetrators. Baumia Imam resource police. Donate towards police station project at Ejura. Defense Minister assures of maximum security. And then in this issue, it says Minister urges prudency in public spending. The Inquisitor. Who chairs GRA board? Who chairs GRA board? Professor Adey sparks anger. GJA turns beggar entity. Oh. Comes to the picture of my president, Afilmoni. Dr. Prempe elevated to UNESCO. That's also here. Mahia at, Mayhem at KNUST. I'm surprised at the way I pronounced it, Mahia. So Mayhem at KNUST, that's also here. Ghanaians in New Jersey confident will overcome COVID-19 challenges. The Herald. Peter Mewu lands Ghana in $70 million US judgment debt. President family greed pops up again. Army commander, others in window dressing military brutalities and murders. CPP, PNC, NDC's callers outdoor new policy think tank. And I think I was at this program. NDC bigwigs march against Akufo-Addo's tyranny tomorrow. The Statesman. Government fights COVID-19 Delta variant as Achimota School. FEMA advocates stronger push for women. The Searchlight. That's a Daily Searchlight. Kumasi MC withdraws from contests. Occupy Ghana writes to Attorney General. It is necessary to bridge the gender gap in public life. Chief of Staff. Ghana Commodity Exchange makes giant strides as access to market for agriculture produces increases. Agriculture produce increases. The publisher, that's a Ghanaian publisher, Akufo-Addo, MPP and NDC mourn with Gabi. 34. I hear this renewal was, protocols were well observed. So that's good news. 34 Delta variant cases confirmed in Ghana. Ghana blows 1.9 billion Ghana cedis on judgment debt in 20 years. Chief of Staff charges women, let's position ourselves for better opportunities. Let's position, and I think that is carefully said, let's position ourselves for better opportunities. IGP opens new Winneba police station, praises Honorable Afenyo-Markin for his support. The custodian, Parliament Committee to probe war military brutalities. Ex-IGP appear to sue CV host Justice Annan for slander. Ghana loses 1.89 billion Ghana cedis to judgment debt in 20 years. FREMA inspires women for jobs in public sector. GCX makes giant strides. That's the Ghana Commodity Exchange. Now, the Daily Post. John Mahama opens NDC communicators retreat. No wonder, front page says that, that's a front page comment. No wonder Ghana football is no longer appealing to many. I don't know if this story was written in a haste, because yesterday a lot of things came up in Ghana football, which we're going to tackle now. Our Rasta hairdos and braids or beards now allowed in Ghana Police Service, and it's a question. And that is because the new recruits are having very interesting look, which we know by law it's not allowed by the police service. I don't know if it's by law or by their own in-house rules. There are some things you don't do, like you're having locks and you're having beard. If they've changed, they should let us know, because we as a people also want to be able to identify who a real police officer is and who is not, so we can make citizen arrests when they need be, or if they need be. Baumia drags National Chief Imam to Ejura to clean up the MPP government's mess. That's an interesting headline. Okay, the BNFT is just about one story. It says illegal unregulated sand winning in Volta River soars. The Economic Times, CD depreciation slows for first half of 2021. Replace captured ATM cards for free BOG banks, BOG to banks. And then any Springfield unitization, energy expert simplifies the technicalities, part 1, captured by the Economic Times. And that's it for all the newspapers and the headlines that we have for you this morning. We go for a breather. When we come back, we'll start the discussion.
In Ghana and in Africa, there is only one place to look to get that luxurious design and decor for your offices and homes. Visit Jamila Home. We give you the climax of luxury wherever you find yourself. Presidential and executive office furniture, living room set, dining set, stunning mirrors, adorable wallpapers, lovely king and queen size beds, valuable antiques and antique goods, beautiful chandeliers and more. Into the bargain, we provide caring customer service, prompt delivery service, skilled and artistic full house design and decor services, and free decor ideas for your space. Our products and service is unparalleled, boasting of top-tier clients all over the globe. Jamila Home, home of first-class quality furniture, beautiful chandeliers, and antiques.
The search for a reliable partner in dealing with also have available the seal of Camel car batteries, Weichai and Kia spare parts, Zonton coaches and light duty vehicles for everyday movement. Contact us on 020 000 0831 or 054 555 7500. You can also email us info@saautomobilegh.com or visit our website at www.saautomobilegh.com. SA Automobile, the pleasure of doing business with you is all ours.
Lawful wedded wife to having to hold from this day forward?
I do.
I knew it.
Drama saying a bit my share. I'm a winyaji. For HD Plus, who feel. My HD Plus, nyanyanko papa palma with HD TV. For star 879 hash for subscribe it. Not try we need to feel say see ya.
You're welcome back. You're still watching Good Morning Ghana on Metro TV. This morning, we are glad and privileged to have with us Jifa Tega, and she's a member of the NDC communications team. Jifa, you're welcome. Congrats and you're welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you too, dear.
I heard some things. when we told her she was coming, I'm not going to put it out.
No, you have to promise.
No, I won't put it out. But thank you for coming.
I hope there were good things you heard, though.
There were good what?
I hope there were good things that you heard.
Good things. Yes.
Oh, that's great. That's great. You don't need to tell anybody once it's a
I'm
good
not going to
thing.
tell anybody. I heard all positives. Yes, all positives. But you're welcome once again.
Thank you.
Great. And also, Laratu, I haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, Laratu Musa Saka is here. The name, is it Saka or Saka?
Saka.
Saka. Because I always practice
Saka.
Saka. Like, I always do that. But you're welcome once again.
Thank
How
you,
was your
Annie.
weekend?
It was okay.
I know you guys went to, fuel yourselves over the weekend.
Yes.
It was all over the place.
Oh, really?
I think before you went, nobody knew.
Yeah.
And then after
when we
you
got there, that's how we are as a party. Whenever we do something small, it's all over the place. Like, everyone is really interested in us. So it's not our fault. No one knew, and I'm so happy you mentioned the fact that no one really knew, because
it was just within.
Yeah, it was just within us, and then we went, and it was so powerful. People had to hear that there was something going on.
So what did you plan?
It was a training.
So what did you train about?
It was a training for communicators, like all around, regional communicators and national communication team members. You realize that many times we all come here and represent our parties. We hardly ever have time to converge and discuss the things that we need to discuss as communicators. Trending matters, how to handle issues, things that have happened in the past and our effects on the previous election, how well we did and everything, and how we're going to look forward to the next election in 2024. We are not last-minute people. So even though we are looking ahead at 2024, we don't think 2021 is too soon to start planning ahead. So all these were part of our discussions or part of our program that we had, and I must say it was very wonderful.
Did you take a review of how your performance has been over the period?
Yes.
And what was the score?
It was very good, and anyone who has been, in fact, this thing, I don't even think my sweet companion here would even be able to argue about the fact that for over 5 years now, NDC's communication has shot up. It has been very good. I mean, you've realized that people have been more like indulgent. People have come on board to even see the female side, and I can also commend the NPP for that, because you see the female part of the Communication Bureau also very active and very, very regular on TV channels. It has been good. But of course, there is always more room for improvement. We aim to be at the highest level. So we definitely, as we were commending ourselves, we definitely had to also look at how we're going to be better next election.
So what was for you in particular, what was your takeaway training point?
My takeaway training point, okay, there were a lot of speakers.
I like to pay attention.
There were a lot of.
Pay attention to her.
She is, trust me. There were a lot of speakers. Our former appointees and our current MPs who are very good in communication. And then I remember very well one major, and I mean, you know it already, it's like advice, you know it, but somebody mentions it and you realize it's so heavy that, you know, preparation gives you so much confidence as a communicator. No matter how small a topic seems to you or how common it seems to you, just take your time, prepare, and also go ahead and call for tips from some of our big men. And this particular training was delivered by Honorable Felix Ofosu-Kwakye.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and he mentioned that, and he even says that, I mean, they at the top there, Honorable Samuel Kujato, Ofosu-Kwakye, and Sami Jemfi, and all those people, they have so much time to read before they come to address any issue, in as much as we know that they are, you know, the big fishes in the game. So if we are the, you know, the starters, I mean, you should just take your preparation seriously, and then when you have the confidence, you blow it all out and you're good to go. No scandals, you get me.
Larati. But you heard about their training, right? Yes.
Oh, but you know when people don't do things often, when they do it as news. They've set time without number that they don't entertain intellectuals. So once they've started doing what intellectuals
I don't think you should allow her to say that.
What intellectuals
They
do.
said what? They don't entertain
One of their candidates said that they are not a party of
Who
they are
said
not
that?
a party of they are
I don't think Lorato should be allowed to say that.
Said they don't. They are not a party of
John Jibelo's comments on CCTV. Is that what you're
was
referring
on
to?
CCTV?
Yes,
Does she even know?
Anyway, that's an aside. It's good. It's
So
good.
you don't know
No,
why he even made a
It's
comment?
good. It's good.
She shouldn't be allowed to say that.
Allow her to clarify herself.
No, she
Because
can't.
I don't think she said they don't entertain intellectuals. He didn't say that.
I didn't quote. I was paraphrasing.
Oh, when you started to exaggerate.
So,
Then you're
Or to throw it off board.
Jifa, it's too early. You don't want to go on that route.
No, but that is not fair.
So, I mean, it's good. I mean, we meet on platforms. We are in this politics business together, political communication. So it's good they are getting the training, and I can feel Jifa's excitement. So going forward, we'll be having discussions, that doesn't come with some of the things you heard.
There is so much mischief in Lorato today.
Good is relative, but I mean, all in all, it was news. I mean, we train all the time. It's not such a big deal because training is a continuous process. No matter the field you find yourself in, training is what makes the difference. I always say that the difference between two aspects is one reads more than the other.
I heard that.
You know,
I mean, Margot communicated to me, and she was telling me,
Trust Margot.
Yes, exactly. She was telling me, well, Jifa said, good morning, Ghana is too hot, so if you guys don't give, I said, you know that good morning, Ghana is an exam. We don't give questions. We don't give apple. But you know, when she came and when she's speaking, I wanted to be convinced, or I'm convinced that she probably really took something from the training.
A lot. Because, you know, whenever I see her, sometimes I wonder if meaning of Jifa has been changed. But from the way she's speaking this morning, it's obvious that she took a lot from that.
So Loratu, you'd like to say that I don't look like the meaning of my name or something like that?
If you want to
What's the meaning of
and Loratu would also like to say that she thinks that the training was something to calm everyone down, to mold everyone up. It's actually the opposite of what happened. So she shouldn't expect that since she thinks I have changed. Probably I am more calm, or I've started behaving.
Did I
anyway,
talk about calmness?
consoled.
So that means she's not calm. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I know I am not.
It's good. Training is a good thing. There's nothing like bad knowledge. It's good they are doing that. I mean, we're in this together.
So on their way coming to Accra, we're told that the 2020 flag bearers convoy got involved in an accident, and there were some moto Kokada riders or something that were involved, and I think there were videos of him trying to help, and I thought that was admirable as a leader, because it was dangerous anyway, you know, to just get out of your convoy or your car and want to come down to the people and see who is hurt and try to offer. In fact, he was the first hand there asking, has the ambulance been called for them to come and take them away and stuff like that. And I thought that was a good thing. If all our leaders would try and do things like that, we will know that you care. Even if you are doing it for the cameras. It's nice. It's a nice sight. So let's talk some football this morning. Now, yesterday we didn't have good news from all the venues that matches were happening. Local games were happening. We had one from Sunyani, where we had Real Tamale United out of Sunyani after. In fact, the Real Tamale United fans were actually the ones that were causing the trouble, I think. And it was Real Tamale United and then BA United, which had the police intervening by an attempt to drive the Real Tamale United team out of the Sunyani Township. That alone was another issue. There were some demonstrations of burning of tires, trying to block roads. There was a story of in where fans attacked the Brekum Chelsea coach, and who is hospitalized now. I don't know if this morning he's been released. There were some clashes in KNUST, what's it called, halls clashing only over elections in school. So there was also another video of a referee who was running for his life. It says that this is a referee running for his dear life after awarding a penalty to the Real Tamale United in the Division 1 league game in BA. So a lot of, I think about 4 videos came out, and we have some of the videos. So let's have a look at the videos, and then we'll speak with Jerome Mochiri, who is a sports journalist and an editor for the Kotoko newspaper as well. So if the videos are ready, can we have them, and then we can speak with Jerome Mochiri. Okay, so those are some of the videos on your screen. There's no sound, so let me just tell you, that's the video of the coach who was running right on the pitch where the BA United fans, running after him for awarding a penalty to their rival team, Real Tamale United. So that's a that's a referee who was running for his dear life there. So we're told that also the security that was provided by GFA were also on the pitch, trying to provide cover for the referee. But at some point they were successful. But when they started chasing the referee, I think some of the fans actually laid hands on the referee and were able to abuse him, at their own will before the police provided the cover for the referee. So the referee obviously was being very skillful in trying to dodge all the blows that were being thrown at him. Right. So I think we have another video of the fans of BA United, you know, setting fire in the middle of the road. If that video is there, let's have that as well. They were setting fire, burning ties, threatening to attack the Tamale United, you know, players, fans, and all that. So you see that even at night time, they had lit car tires, you know, in the middle of the road, also creating their own demonstration there. Right, so can we have the video as well? That is the fans of BA United that were also creating the problem. There was also, well, as the team is also searching for it, there was another that when the players were being taken out. Okay, that's the video. That's the video of the BA United fans attacking people from Tamale in Sunyane. This happened in Sunyane. Says that the United supporters burning wheelbarrows belonging to the Tamale boys in Sunyane. So even residents of Sunyane who were coming from Tamale also reported that they were being attacked only over a football game. I mean, everywhere is tensed. We understand that. There's so much tension in the economy. So everybody is stressed. So it's almost like if football is the only one that we can vent our anger on, and we can't, we can release our stress. You know, after all the stress, you just must see something and be happy or be sad because it's only one team that is expected to win anyway. And you don't win. We have to express our frustration through this means. That's also very scary, very scary. So there's another one. If we can change to the one that the police was, shooting into the air as a form of warning shots, trying to drive away the angry fans or mob that were threatening to attack the Tamale United fans. So the police were seen in the truck, in the police truck, in the bucket of the truck, shooting into the air, trying to drive away the fans that were angry so that they could protect the BA United. So it says they could protect the real Tamale United rather. Police firing warning shots as they escort real Tamale United out of the Sunyane after their Division 1 league game against BA United today. And that's also a Division 1 league, and that's what surprises me. This is not Premier League, this is Division 1. Let's go on to the phone lines and speak with Jerome Ochery. I think we've serialized him for the past few weeks over violence in football and some issues, but he joined us again today. Jerome, thank you. He is a journalist and also an editor for Kotoko Express. Thank you for your time. Good morning, Jerome. If you can unmute your sound, I think there's a sound issue. Kindly unmute your sound. Let's see if that's wow. We still can't hear Jerome Ochery. Kindly all right, so we will try and reconnect with him as we work around the sound to hear some address. We're hearing, let me also put this across, that we're hearing that the GFA says that top officials from GFA says they have been trying their best to provide security, and the issue that they think is degenerating into something else is the fact that when they use the local police within the towns in which matches happen, the local police seems to be very familiar with the fans, and so the fans don't give them any regard as security. And for where the game happened and the referee was being chased, surprisingly, there were military men there as well. But the military men went on the pitch. They were like at the gates, I don't know, somewhere around that area. And they were saying that if the military came in, maybe it would have been something else, and then we would carry another story. So there's a lot coming in from GFA and fans and officials and all that. So as and when it happens, we'll talk about it. But for now, let Laura and Jifa come in here. It's violence, but this time it's football. And normally I make my ladies talk football a little. So Jifa, let me start from you. For the little or the few we have shown, what do you think about it?
Thank you very much, Anne. It's one of the many incidents of violence that has been happening recently. And I must say that just a few weeks ago when Kotoko and Hearts had a match, the atmosphere in Ghana was very, very admirable. I mean, everyone was into it. And then I sat there and then remembered when we've had issues in the past as to how Ghanaians love football so much, but then our local teams and our local leagues seem to be dying out. And I mean, there has been several contributions from stakeholders as to how best we can improve our local football and then invest in it as a country and as a people, so that we can cheer on like the way we support the European and American and Spanish teams. So I mean, just beginning of the football season, everything goes on well. Everyone is excited, like everyone is in the spirit. And then probably we're trying to turn around because GFA has been through so much. During the time of Kwesi Nyantakyi and his removal and the change of leadership, the election of the GFA president and all those things, we have all been on a hold, or should I say on a standby, looking and giving GFA time to, flip over a new leaf and try to make things better, and then probably have a very positive effect on our football, our Ghanaian football. Now, after a very successful match, we come in and then the very next thing that we are hearing is violence between a referee. One was between a referee and fans, and the other was between a coach and fans. And it has been so brutal. It made the pitch even not safe for people to be there. I mean, if you are concerned about your safety, you'd realize that no, the way Ghana football is playing, your safety is not even guaranteed when you go to watch a match. Footballers and coaches and referees do not even feel safe. And I'm just thinking that now that we are ushering into a new phase of football in Ghana, hoping that it will take us high up, the last thing anyone, be it coach, be it referee, be it players, be it fans, the last thing they should ever be concerned about is their safety, because that is going to withdraw patronage. No one is going to be really interested. And then we'll go back again from where we came from, where our football has died so down. But then knowing that this is the same country that is very, very passionate about football at the same time. So we realize that we have made no lead, and then probably we are going nowhere with all our reforms that we are trying to put in place. So Anne, for what I think about this violent situation that just happened, I'll just say that it's unfortunate. I would also add that I said it last week, and I was with Loratu and I said it, that it is, these violent occurrences are sort of initiating a certain attitude in Ghanaians, where we are very much not concerned about what will happen when we indulge in violent attacks, because apparently you hardly ever see anything being done to culprits of these incidents. People are being emboldened, going forward and expressing themselves through violence, because somehow, it hasn't been said, but somehow there's that feeling in the country that the law is really not working, or the law is not working well. Then there's someone who will say, well, the system is not working. So it is initiating that. I mean, if in incidents past, violent incidents past, if there has been strict measures taken and very, should I say, harsh punishments given to people who have been involved in attacks like these, it would inform like a citizen, a spectator, a coach, a referee, whoever, about the consequences they're going to face when they enter such things. And we even have some other topic on the bill when students were also involved in something similar in KNUST. Yeah. And every week for months now, you would always go through the papers and know at least 1 week, if you are being truthful, there was an issue of violence, and it wasn't like this before.
Let me just take this time to speak with Jerome. I'm told he's back on Zoom. Jerome, thank you for rejoining us again. Hello, Jerome.
Hello, I can't hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now? Your line is even faint from where I sit. Can you hear me now? Okay, this is going to be quite difficult, but hello, Jerome. Okay, I see him trying to press on knobs to see if it's from his side. So I will plead that the technical team will just help us fix this as soon as possible so we can hear him, or he can hear us too. That's rather unfortunate. But Laratu, yes. Yeah.
I mean, violence, whether football, whether on with students, whoever, is not something that should be encouraged or entertained. I love football, but regrettably, I don't follow the GPL much. I have a soft spot for Ashgold. Some of these things that keep happening, this is not the first. There have even been worse ones, and most of the time, the teams know some of these things are going to happen. Some of these things are planned, some of these things are orchestrated by fans, allegedly officials and all that. These are not things that... Football is a beautiful game, and when it's characterized by some of these unfortunate circumstances, it makes it difficult to draw other people to come on board. So, like you said, the GFA, there's a lot coming out from the GFA, but I think it's time they nip this in the bud. Over the years, they've been banning, banning referees, banning teams, fining, but it looks like that's not working. We need to look at security on match days, especially when it gets into the crucial point at the end of the game for the GPL, when it's getting to the end where people are afraid to be relegated. Then for Division 1, I think that's the level from where they come into the Premier League. That's also another heated level, because everybody wants to come up to the Premier level. But if you're doing this at the Division 1 level, how do you encourage anybody to support you to come to the Premier League level? So violence at any level and any circumstances is not something that we should be condoning or entertaining. This is not something that we should be hearing, especially on a Monday morning.
It was surprising because I think at the time, until the time I was going to bed, I was still receiving videos. I had about 6 different videos from different venues. You know, almost trouble everywhere, where fans are doing what they like. The police must, I don't know where that video is, but I think we have it, where the police was shooting into the air, trying to fix it. Enough of this video, we have others. So we will have to probably put in more efforts in providing security, or maybe change their strategy, because the strategy obviously isn't working.
Yeah.
And the more people get frustrated, the more they vent their frustration, you know,
yeah.
in various sectors,
Yeah.
they probably will get the chance to.
It's a game that's characterized by passion.
Exactly,
And
a lot of
yes,
passion.
a lot of passion. And I mean, people bet on it, people virtually put their all in all in it. It's a great game, but some of these excesses need to be changed, and the only body apart from the security agencies, because the security agencies can't do it alone. They have to do it in partnership with the GFA. So we need to be looking at, I mean, and sitting on this set and talking about GFA. Good morning, Dr. Randy Abbey. No, I mean, football people. I think these are some of the things we need to demystify football of some of these things, you know, some of these unfortunate circumstances. This is a beautiful game. It's a source of income generation and all that. I mean, it's a whole business on its own, and we need to discourage some of these things. These are not things we should be discussing. And there are videos. Corporates faces are on the videos. The GFA, in collaboration with the security agencies, should be able to get to the bottom of this. We need to be able to nip some of these things in the bud.
Okay, let's try Jerome Ochiri again, maybe one more time to see how that will go. Jerome, can you hear me now? Let me also try.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, great.
I can hear you loud and clear.
Great. So the various videos I've mentioned, I don't know if you're watching the show, I've mentioned earlier on with, you know, referees being attacked, supporters burning tires, police giving warning shots, some coaches actually hospitalized from attacks from fans and things like that. We have spoken about this not too long ago. By your experience in the sports industry, is this getting worse by the day?
Oh yes, every incident of violence that is not properly addressed adds to the ones that we have already spoken about. And this is a clear indication that the problem is not getting solved. And I have said that it is the police that is failing us. Let us not mince words about this. The police is not helping the situation. Yes, yesterday I commend them for how they handled the incident outside the stadium where some fans were pelting the bus of RTU with stones. They fired several warning shots into the skies, and it more or less deterred the fans from really attacking the bus. RTU, as we know, have left Sunyani safely. The referee, as we also know, slept in the police commander's house. He has also left Sunyani safely. And I mean, these are matters we have to talk about. While commending the police for how they handled the issue yesterday, particularly outside the park, it beats my imagination that on the field of play, there were policemen, just the video you are showing now, there were policemen trying to save the referee, which was good. But you ask yourself, what about the fans who were chasing the referee on the field? Was there any arrest made? The point I have always made is that because we continue to leave these fans off the hook, because there are no arrests after every incident, it just emboldens the fans to do what they think it should be done. And that is the problem we have to confront. Unfortunately, it is not the responsibility of the FA to arrest the fans. The FA, all it can do is to apply sanctions within the framework it has as a football association. And they have been doing that. But it is left with the state, which is armed with the powers to arrest and prosecute and jail some of these guys. And not until that is done, Annie, I'm telling you, we are going to have this problem. Let me give you one typical example. Mighty Royals, also in the Bunahafu region, recently had a game where officials of Mighty Royals, their CEO and their coach, one of their assistant coaches, actually threatened to kill the referee if they don't win the game. And this came from the chief executive officer of Mighty Royals. The FA went into the matter, established guilt against the chief executive of Mighty Royals, and he's been banned for the rest of the season. He was also fined alongside his assistant coach for not just threatening the referee, but also assaulting the referee. And the evidence is there. I have read the report that the FA issued after going into the matter. They established guilt against the two officials for attacking the referee. And I'm saying that it shouldn't end there. Once the FA has even provided evidence that indeed these guys assaulted the referee and even threatened to kill him, I don't know what the police is waiting for. I cannot understand why the police cannot pick this information and bring these guys to book. Now, once these guys walk free, and let me add this, the incident happened in March. In March this year, we are in July. If the FA has already applied their sanctions by banning these two officials and also finding them, that's all they can do. The rest of the matter lies with the police. And if the police cannot go in to pick these two people out, I don't want to mention their names, but their names were clearly stated in the FA's report, a copy of which I have. It was actually published on their website. So it is no secret that the FA did a good job in trying to punish these people within the remit of their law. But the state must take over from there. And that is the action we have not seen in many instances. And that is what is contributing to the rising cases of violence in our football.
But these actions taken by GFA and maybe sometimes officials in charge of security have been after the act. What about before the act? Because when the attack of the referee was ongoing, I was imagining the states in which the football pitch is in, where the outlets are, how the fans got onto the pitch, because if by chance they were holding any sharp object and decided to maybe harm someone with it, the harm would have already been done before punishment will carry out. What are we doing also post the match? I mean pre the match, not post, when harm has already been done.
You see, that is where it starts from. And you make a very good observation. These are not things sometimes we want to talk about. That is what if any of the fans that invaded the pitch had, let's say, a knife or a gun or some object on him? You could have easily, ended the life of the referee. Mm-hmm. And just before I answer your question directly, the referee, some of our colleagues have been able to contact the referee trying to find out what is wrong with him this morning. And the referee has apparently decided not to officiate the games today. The game should have been continued today, but the referee has left on grounds that he's traumatized. And look, he's human. So your point is so right. How we provide security or the security architecture at some of our venues, even before matches start, ought to be looked at. And again, it goes to reinforce my point that all that falls within the remit of the police. The best the FA can do is to, for instance, look at the venue, look at the category of the game, how high the stakes are, and the likelihood of violence, and try and determine that because of these factors, maybe we will need these number of policemen, we will need these number of military men, we will need these and these number of things to ensure that there's proper security. Once these things are done, it is left with how we also enforce what we know. And that's why I'm saying, look at the number of people on the pitch. Look at someone trying to do a sliding tackle to bring the referee down. Question to ask is, what was the police doing? If just one of these people are picked up, it will send some signal. But just check the number of people on the field. None will be arrested. And I'm saying this with a lot of conviction, because for all the period I've been covering football in Ghana, I do not know of any situation where a fan misbehaved or attacked a referee on the field, and that fan was arrested, put before the law, and thrown into jail. I can give you several instances where even referees were stoned, injured, taken to the hospital. Even this season, the coach of Ebusian Dwarfs, he was beaten to a pulp. He had to be, carried out of the stadium in a wheelchair. At the end of the day, there was no arrest. I mean, it's so depressing talking about these things. And however we want to talk about it, it will still lie within the ambit of the police to take serious action.
Let me quickly find out if you can tell us the updates of the Brekum Chelsea coach who was also hospitalized. Pictures I received yesterday. What's his state or his condition this morning?
Well, I'm yet to check on his condition this morning, but yesterday, from what we know, he was treated and his condition was stable from what we know. He had some bruises or some cuts on his lip. He also received some punches from Dreams FC officials, and this is the seriousness of the matter. From information we've had this morning and from videos I have seen this morning, the attack on the Brekum Chelsea assistant coach was not even from supporters. It was rather from the technical members of the Dreams FC team. And the Dreams FC team, sad to say, is owned by the GFA president. So if you have officials of the team attacking officials on the other side, then it tells you that the indiscipline in our game is not to do with just rowdy fans, but also rowdy football officials. Because
but to be fair to the GFA president, he doesn't directly control the team now. There are people responsible because of his position.
I am not in any way trying to say he has any control or he has any influence in Dreams FC now. I'm only giving information that if I work for Dreams FC, given where the owner or someone like Kurt, given where he sits, my conduct should be the type that will not draw him into some of these nasty incidents. Because then at the end of the day, people are going to talk about the fact that he's the leader and should be able to rein in his people before he even decides or talks about others. But I'm saying that once you have football officials engage in this kind of acts to the extent that one will be hurt and taken to the hospital, the seriousness of the matter cannot be taken for granted.
Let me let you go, but let me find out finally. Football is just one of the favorites that we derive comfort from. Is the GFA able to assure us that we are safe when we come to the stadiums, when we let our husbands go to, referee matches and activities such as that or as those? Are we safe? Can you assure us that?
I think there's a degree of safety. I mean, I don't have to sound alarmist or create any fear and panic. There is a reasonable degree of safety because these incidents we are talking about is not really widespread or across the country. Even though you would say yesterday there were about 3 or 4 incidents. I mean, the one in Brekum, the one in Deu, the other in Sunyani, and then even Cape Coast, where Hatsoko played Dwarfs. When they got there were some skirmishes, fans trying to prevent the Hatsoko bus from entering the stadium and all that. So, yes, the incidents are happening. But I think there is some level of safety or security. But you see, when these things keep recurring, or when these things recur, we have to understand that it will get to a point where if we don't deal with them the way we should, it will just get out of hand. And that is not the situation we want to see. This is a country that once lost how many people? 127 people at the stadium. Unfortunately, or fortunately, this is the 20th anniversary of that incident. And we don't seem to have learned anything out of what happened at the Accra Sports Stadium on May 9, 2001. And it's very unfortunate.
We couldn't have finished it without mentioning May 9. Thank you, Jerome Motre, for your time. Jerome Motre is a journalist and he is the editor for Kotoko. You're watching Good Morning Ghana. We'll go for a quick breather. I'll be back shortly.
dirty and wet after wiping your sweat or blowing your nose with it. Keeping a dirty handkerchief in your pocket or bag is very unhygienic. Reusing it increases your chances of getting sick from germs. That is why I always use Flora disposable handkerchief. Flora disposable handkerchiefs is disposable, thus making it a more hygienic option. It's thick and very absorbent. With 10 tissues in a pack, Flora disposable handkerchief is better than a cloth handkerchief.
Mommy, my Flora disposable handkerchief.
Look out for Flora toilet roll, Flora multi-purpose paper towels, Flora table napkins, and Flora box tissues in a shop near you. For both purchases, call Delta Paper Mail on 0243 033 033.
We are one man short. Should we invite him?
Yeah.
It be old cargo.
Can I join you guys?
Yeah.
Always drink fresh, natural eggs, mineral water.
Still got it.
Always keep hydrated naturally. That's my secret.
Manufactured with the primary aim of preserving nature's finest minerals necessary for a healthy mind and body. X Natural Mineral Water. Simply natural.
You're welcome back to Good Morning Ghana. Now, it's, I think, a point about violence. We just spoke with Jerome Mochire, who is editor for Kotoko Express and a sports journalist as well. Let's now go to, okay, I'm still in the studio with Laura too, and Jifa as well. But before I come to you, we will go to KNUST, where there was some routing students, some opposing forces from schools, from the school, expressing their anger by fighting and destroying the school's properties and also hurting themselves. And some were taken to the hospital. Management of Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology in Kumasi have suspended all activities leading up to the 2021 SRC elections with the immediate effect until further notice, following a clash between supporters of the two aspirants who were believed to be affiliates of the University Hall, popularly known as Kantanga, and Unity Hall, also known as Konti. So on your screen are some excerpts of the videos that we're able to capture by our reporters in Kumasi, Basit, who sent us these videos. So obviously in your shot was one of the students being reading in a wheelchair at the hospital for treatment, and this is what our future leaders decided to be engaged in the school. Such an unfortunate situation actually brought almost all activities in the school to a halt, and that is a bit of some reports that we've received that management says that the Kumasi, the school have suspended all activities leading up to the 2021 SRC elections with immediate effect. And sometimes you can be so sure that it is also ridden with political, partisan political colors. If you go into it, you realize that it's ridden with political, partisan, in fact, our national partisan positions. So that's what the sad incident that also occurred in KNUST. Videos received yesterday. All right, so this time let me come to Lara or I should go to Jifa. I saw you doing something, but no, let me come to you. Let me come to you. Yeah, so this is also something that's happened. I will actually merge it with what we've been dealing with last week in war, with the military beating us on the streets. The military senior men have promised that they would bring the perpetrators to book. But Mr. Kwesieni spoke on radio over the weekend. The Director of Faculty of Academic Affairs and Research at the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center says the Ghana Police Service has an almost institutionalized culture of falsifying evidence. Professor Kwesieni said that the service, which ought to place a high premium on record keeping for prosecuting cases, form the basis of critical decision, is altered. So he was speaking with Samson Ladi Ayeni on Saturday, and the security expert said that the phenomenon is one of the several reasons why the public appears not to have trust in the police service. The Ghana Police Service has a historical capacity to falsify information to such an extent that it is impossible for a professional to differentiate between the falsified document and the original document. I'm quoting from the Tibiru report from 1986. Commissioner Tibiru was tasked with looking at the nature and the extent of falsification and crimes within the Ghana Police Service, particularly with respect to the examination, promotion, and demotion. I'll cut it here. And then we have the MCE who was also telling us that he has not been removed in Ejira. I'm talking about Ejira. The Municipal Chief Executive for Ejira in Ashanti Region, Mohammed Salisu Bamba, has dismissed reports of his dismissal from office. He says the reports are part of a grand agenda against him by certain individuals. Quote, from last week, there were reports linking me to murder. Then it was reported that I had fled the town and was then again reported that I've been arrested. And then today it's reported that I've been sacked. This shows that there is a deliberate agenda against my agenda by my detractors to defame me and get me out of office. I pity the online portals that have allowed their mediums to be used to peddle falsehood, he says. So, findings on war military brutality by Nitu. He says that the Minister of Defense, Dominic Nitu, says the Defense and Interior Committee of Parliament will make public the findings of the inquest into the assault of some residents in Wa in the Upper West region by a group of soldiers. Quote, when my findings are ready, we will make it public to the people and make all the measures that we are going to take public to the people of Ghana for them to know what happened. On Thursday, July 1, 2021, a video showing armed soldiers beating some residents of Wa on the streets went viral. Some eyewitnesses who spoke to journalists said the soldiers claimed they were searching for their stolen mobile phone. Now, they recounted how the officers who could not immediately identify stopped tricycles and brutalized residents, particularly young men. We have that video as well. Okay, so that's also on your screen of what happened. I don't need to read much about it. Okay. Right, so I think I will end it here, where I'm giving you briefs of what's going on within the security quarters for you to also have an idea of what we're talking about. So Lara, too, I'll start off with you.
I mean, these again, unfortunate incidents. It's something everyone has to be worried about or is worried about. We can decide to put it at the doorstep of the security, rightly so, since they are the agencies that are mandated and resourced to an extent to make sure that we are all safe wherever we find ourselves within this jurisdiction. But when some of these things happen, and even before I continue, we still have to express our condolences with respect to the Ejura incident, the widow and the children and the family of the 3 brothers we lost, unfortunately. It's come with a lot of angles, it's come with a lot of commentary. But the good thing is there's an inquiry, public inquiry, that has been initiated based on the directive from the president on the 30th of June. And the report, the minister was given 10 days, so he should be reporting back to the president by the 9th of July. And I believe we all paying keen attention to it, because these things must be handled and managed so we don't keep going back to these unfortunate incidents.
How should it be managed?
How should it be managed? By those trained and mandated to do what they have been trained to do, and for those of us citizens to also know that we find ourselves in a country of rule of law, and no matter how passionate, how aggrieved we are, there are procedures we need to follow to seek justice or redress. But what happened in KNUST, I haven't really watched the video, but it's something, and I don't even want us to go on the tangent of it has political underpinnings. Our representatives at Parliament, are they at each other's throats? They talk, they jaw. They are not beating each other there, are they? So if it has, and that's the main house that you can use as a reference point for the different political divides. I mean, it shouldn't, a student representative election shouldn't degenerate into such violence, and they should be condemned in no uncertain terms. We shouldn't be encouraging such levels of indiscipline, especially in our institutions of higher learning. But what happened in WA, that was outright unprofessional conduct. The Chief of Army Staff has been there to apologize and give assurance. And the minister responsible for defense, who the armed forces fall under, has also given his word that they are going to get to the bottom of this and penalize. And we all know how discipline, when it comes to discipline, we all know how the armed forces are credited with that. And I don't think they are ready to compromise on that for a few officers. And he's given his word. He set up a 3-member committee to go into it. It comes out that the military men there have some grievances, but no matter your grievances, you don't go brutalizing citizens the way they did just because of what happened. But some of these things, when they come up, they come with different angles. So once investigations are being conducted, we all need to follow up and make sure that justice is served and served duly. Whoever is found culpable is dealt with. I mean, with Ejura, it comes up that the military actually didn't go to Ejura that morning. They were actually on their way out that morning because they had been there the night before because of the signals that they had picked up of possible violence because of the heightened tension after the death of Kaka.
You mean the military?
Yes, the military was there the night before throughout providing security. So that they were actually on their way out when they were called back by the police after they were assaulted by the youth in it. The police have to be held accountable for the way they conduct themselves in their line of duty because they are supposed to be the trained professionals. But as citizens, we also must know how we conduct ourselves.
So wait, so they were there, they were on their way back, and the police called them back because of the situation arising.
It has escalated.
At what point must the, you are not a security expert, but
Yes.
maybe we may have picked up information from your team members and from your experts, that at what point does military or does the police call the military into their affairs when they are unable to contain a situation? Because for all the avenues that we know that the police must put to use, including water cannons, including increasing their number base on a particular scene or particular routing, depending on the situation, including rubber bullets, including tear gas, all that. At what point must they call the police, the military in? That now, at every little thing, we're seeing the military all over the place, including the military working for ministers and public officials holding their bags. We see them in pictures.
Honey, we have a little over 30,000 police personnel in the various departments that the police operates within. As of 2014, the police were about 30,600 and something. The UN ratio of citizen to police is was 1:500 now. Yeah. And we're doing over 1 to 700 and something. In 2017...
We're not doing badly, are we? 1 to 7, yeah.
We are not up to it. That's just a benchmark.
Right.
That's not the ideal.
Right.
It's just that 1 to 500 is not a benchmark.
Right.
It's just a benchmark. It's not the ideal. That's the barest minimum. We're doing over 780 something or 60 something. As of 2017, it was projected, based on our population of 30 million, that we need an additional 28,000 police to get the kind of security we want. Even with the military, we all know what is happening across our borders. In Burkina, in Ivory Coast, in Mali, Chad. Just a day or two ago, recently, in Zaria City, some women and children have been abducted. There's a lot of insurgents. There's also our security has to be on high alert. That will have to mean that we need to do a lot of balancing and utilizing resources. So if the police then, and the nights that they were there, it was a combination of the Operation Calm Life and the COVID response that were there. These are teams that have been deployed to other places. But when the situation is escalating, definitely they need to calm it down. That's why you get the regional minister saying he deployed the military there, being the Regional Security Council chair. So the night before, they were there to provide security. From what they gathered, everything was calm. And the interesting thing is that apparently the police station was even attacked because of the 3 people that had been arrested. The people wanted to go and harm them, allegedly. These were all things that were picked up. So they leave because they also have other places to attend to their security issues and other important things to be dealt with. And if my memory serves me right, they were around Old Tafo when they were called back, because if you saw that video with the police armored vehicle that was virtually under attack by civilians. It wasn't a pretty sight to behold. And looking at the numbers, definitely they needed reinforcement. The approach that was used is something we can talk about. But when you also watch that video, you realize that when the military came in, those on the sides of the road were running, but those in the middle of the road, according to eyewitnesses, had very offensive weapons. Investigations are ongoing, and I believe that once it's done, the right information can, because now we are hearing from people within the Nigeria, we are hearing from security agencies, and the police made a statement. Some of these information we put on social media and all these places sometimes compromise the evidence, because if the one person has been arrested and his accomplice is around and is yet to be arrested, and you put it out there, definitely the person will be on the run. You know, so some of these things it's not something anybody should be comfortable with. It's not something anybody should encourage, and it's not something we should even make an attempt to politicize, bring colors into it. These are Ghanaian lives that have been lost. Look, the first guy that died after he was assaulted left behind, I think, 5 or 6 children. The last one being 2.5 years. This is a child that will never know a father. These are some of the things that we need to look at. Whatever color it is, I mean, these are Ghanaian lives. And these are
professionals infiltrating our military service and our security service in general.
Do we have what?
Unprofessionals.
I don't have the capacity to determine that, because at least for the security for the armed forces, their recruitment hasn't changed. Their recruitment process hasn't changed.
I have particularly picked a situation which I'm not ready to put out there, which I think is dangerous, but I won't put it out here. So I just want to find out, because you communicate for government, so you should know from at least from all the sectors, including security. Do you think we have unprofessionals?
From what I gather, the security agencies are not institutions like everyday institutions that you go in, you put in your CV, you are called for an interview, you go through orientation, and you take up your job. Those are not high-risk jobs. Those are not especially specialized areas. But what I know with the armed forces, at least, is they go as far as checking your BC or GCE. They go through a whole process. Once they advertise, you go through documentation, you go through aptitude test. They give you even a leaderless training. And we all know armed forces training is quite rigorous. We've seen videos, we've seen people giving up even at a point. They go through medical exam, go through a lot of these processes, you know. So, to my best of knowledge and what I gather from the people in charge, I don't know, but if you have anything contrary to what is the norm, I think you also owe it as a responsible citizen to let the right authorities know. Definitely, if it's something that is worrying, it's not something you should be putting in the open and leave it to opinions and counter-opinions.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to avoid.
So if you have anything contrary
you even think that the ones who are in charge are the ones who are culprits of some of the information you pick, you definitely don't even know who to report to now.
Annie, we hear a lot of information in this country, and the way we are connected, what you think may be a secret is not a secret to anybody. A lot of things happen within our daily lives. But if there's something that you feel strongly about, I think you should go to the appropriate quarters. It may not be information that needs to be in the public domain yet, you know, because there have been incidents of people coming out. You are talking about the look of police officers and all that. But we also shouldn't forget that security has gone beyond just the physique to brain work in the wake of cybercrime and cybersecurity and all
when
its
you say
attending
security is
issues.
gone beyond the look, what are you referring to? Because we know
Yes.
that by the practice of the police, a security man doesn't keep a beard. Security
Yes.
man doesn't keep locks.
Yes.
Security man must always have their badges on where their names are identified. Once you see them, where's your badge? There was a video that was going viral last week of 2 police officers threatening to shoot some civilians, and the civilians were daring them. And then he was standing right in front of the police officer, where is your badge? What's your name? And this police officer wasn't able to even respond to those questions, but was just involved or engaged in an argument. Very unprofessional, if you ask me, you know, with the civilian, threatening to shoot them. I mean, I think we have the video, but it will be difficult to trace it. So there are just some things that are very basic, even for the ordinary Ghanaian to know, that this one, if you stop me in traffic and you ask me to produce my license and you don't have your badge on, I'll drive off. I won't respond, because that's why there is civic education, where some information is provided to the public, and the public should be able to identify, in terms of security, how our security personnel appear. You know, their whole armor, when they have it on, how they look, how they should appear. So if you have locks, you have beard, you're already disqualified in my eyes by my civic education information I have.
Honey, that'll be overstretching it. Why do I say so? Let me come into your space as a journalist. I don't know whether you do investigative journalism, but if you go doing a high-profile investigation, probably in connection to the issue you found out, will you go like this? Will you go appearing like Annie that we see on Metro TV every morning?
When I've gone to investigate?
Yes. Will you go like this? When you have to go undercover?
Yes, but that's why you qualify it as undercover.
Yes. Yes. You go like this. You go like the Annie we all know.
But you qualify
I might probably even pass you and not know. The police has various departments: intelligence, anti-terrorism, cybercrime. We've had instances where we've had police pose as prostitutes. We've had police pose as criminals to bust syndicates.
Yeah, I don't.
We've had police patronize services of certain people.
Let's not confuse the two. When you have, let's not confuse these two.
Yes.
When you have police going undercover, it's a different duty they're on. But when you have, for example, new recruits, which we have experienced or we've seen recently, giving us their pictures, some of us are mocking them by their uniforms and by the way they. I think the video I was talking about is what's there. You know, by their uniform, how it was sewn, how some of them had their uniform looking so big on them, and we were ridiculing them. Maybe like when you're in secondary school, that's how your uniforms are sewn from Form 1, is all the way to the ground, sort of. So I think that was a little bit of a tease. But there were some of the pictures that we saw, and we think that, oh, this is not the police that's gone undercover. This is the police that they're telling us, this is the new police that we have. We don't have
new police that we have doing what?
We don't know.
Annie, the police, why does the police have police professional standards? They have certain standards. And if people are going contrary to the standards, they must be called out, no doubt about that. But what I don't want us to lose sight of is the fact that sometimes these security agencies put people amongst us to pick information for our own safety. So they might come in a certain look. It's quite unfortunate in the wake of social media. You have security agencies doing social media and all that, but sometimes too, it could be another way of getting information. So when it comes to security, we need to be very careful the conclusions we draw. It could be a strategy of trying to get information, you know.
A strategy?
Honey,
of getting information. I'm saying there's somebody wearing a police uniform.
Yes.
Completely cladded in police uniform with locks and beard. And you say it's a strategy of getting information.
Chifa, when it comes to security, sorry, Annie, when it comes to
you know, take your time.
I love her more. When it comes to security, I think we need to be careful the extent we take the conversation. Look, the world has become smaller than it is. Some years back, sitting here, it might even take someone in Togo, nearby, a month or two to even see pictures of this. But today, by a click of a button, they can watch us from start to end. The world has become smaller than it is. I mean, land mass, fine, but because of technology, and it's not going to get any bigger. It's going to keep getting smaller. You virtually have the world in your palm.
Right.
By a click of a button, you are in Afghanistan.
Okay.
You know, so we need to be careful how we put police and security issues in the public domain. And we need to be able to, in the wake of right to information, in the wake of client service departments in our agencies, in the wake of security agencies, trying to be friendly and have a more friendly outlook with respect to their relationship with citizens. We need to take advantage of some of these things. But most importantly, we also need to look at how we conduct ourselves, depending on the situation, so we can deal with some of these things. Always putting it just at the doorstep. It's a partnership. We build our houses, we get our accommodation, and we put security around them. We make sure we've secured it, even though we know there are police there. That's the same way we need to apply such conduct to our daily activities. Those paid and those mandated to protect us have to, and we must call them out when they do it. But we also have a responsibility to make sure that we're doing what is right and not be encouraging and coloring violence. Death is death. It has no color. Crime is crime. It has no color. Let's all be each other's keeper. Let's all be responsible citizens and make sure that when we do what we are supposed to do, it's easy to call out these people and get what we are paying them.
Have you, I was coming to Jifa, but let me ask you this before I go to her. Have you received or heard some of the criticisms against His Excellency the President for not speaking to the death of people directly caused by these security personnel?
When you say not speaking, what do you mean by not speaking?
He has never said anything to families. He hasn't sent maybe condolences directly to families. The recent Ijura incident, we had a statement from him, but that was about investigation that directing.
Did you read the last paragraph of the statement?
What did he say?
He expressed his condolences, expressed his outrage. I'm not quoting, but in that last paragraph, he expressed his outrage.
You want me to
His vice has been there with the chief imam. When he started his MC, he was there. You see,
but what the vice is
I don't know what we're expecting the president to come and say. Come and express his condolences and we leave it there. Is that what we're expecting?
No, but he's actually told them to do the investigation.
Exactly. So why don't we wait? The investigations will come out. Who is the minister going to report to? He's going to report to the president. Think we've had these things are becoming one too many.
How about the election?
It's high time we come to a point where we delve into it and get to the bottom of this. A committee has been set up. They are going to come out with a report by the 9th of July. It will go to the president. Let's wait and see. I don't think this quest to come out and just express condolences and we move on should be the way we should be going. When we may have difference in opinion at that, but let's start holding people responsible for what they are being paid for.
All right. On the notes where she ended that the committee has been set up, the minority has expressed their opposition to that decision taken by the president. Why is that so? Maybe it came up during your training this weekend. So why is that so? Why is the minority in parliament so against this committee by the president?
Okay, so thank you for that question. I was hoping, and I'll still do it. I mean, after answering that question, I'll have to go back to where, to the exact topic that we are discussing. So I'll just say yes. The minority leader, Haruna Idrisu, came out and stated that we were not happy with what the president had done, appointing a 3-member committee to look into what happened in Ejura. And it's simple. We didn't discuss it at our training though, but I can say it's so simple for a normal Ghanaian to know why the NDC, the largest opposition
party... So just
party,
to support what Saka was saying, the president, the last paragraph, the president is deeply saddened by the death of Ibrahim Mohammed alias Saka Kaka, Abdul Nasir Yusuf and Murtala Mohammed. He extends his sincere condolence to the families of the deceased and wishes the injured a speedy recovery. And one of the injured, we've received a picture of him, I think of having one of his limbs off somehow in the hospital. When we get the picture, we'll put it out there. Continue.
So I was going back to the fact that I do not need, in fact, if I was a normal Ghanaian, I wouldn't need to ask the reason why the minority leader representing the minority portion of parliament and the NDC as a whole rejects that idea and thinks it isn't good. Annie, let's be sincere. The way you and I are agitated about this Ejura killings, this KNUSC violence, and the football violence and the wild violence is not because of one singular thing that happened. It is because it has been a trend for some time now. It started way back, but the very first one that a lot of Ghanaians remember was from the Yawaso West incident, and down to the elections and down. And we are looking at the trend of issues. All these things that happened, Annie, what was the result? What did the normal Ghanaian see? Did we see perpetrators being brought to book? Did we see people being jailed? Did we see people resigning? Because some of these things were clear negligence, some were deliberate acts to, you know, to throw violence on civilians. I mean, per a lot of investigations, you realize that these things are pure crime and should be dealt in the harshest way possible, to not just punish the people.
Harshest way by law.
By law, of course, possible by law. Not just to punish the people, but to give hope to Ghanaians and also to warn them that there are consequences for people who told this line. But we haven't seen that. So that is why I was saying in my previous submission that it is encouraging the spirit or the culture of violence. That when something doesn't go right, instead of somebody looking for the right, the lawful way of addressing issues, the first thing they resort to is violence. Because after all, what can happen to them? It is the trend of the day. And if you will be sincere, or if everyone will be sincere, everything that runs in this country boils down to leadership. I will keep saying this because if Ghanaians or if human beings are allowed to do what they want, everyone will go wayward. Everyone will decide to do what pleases them, but what pleases you is not the law. What pleases you is not what is going to promote growth and development in the country. What pleases you is not likely to bring peace in the country. That is why we have the law to guide us all, despite the fact that most of us are adults. So, at the end of the day, you realize that there is a leader at the top of a pyramid who is supposed to make sure that these laws are upheld. So the previous, the sports journalist was talking.
Gerald.
Yeah, Gerald. He was blaming the police, the security systems. Of course. But I want to remind all of us that it is a pyramid. It is a system. It is the middle the police or the security system, they are at the middle. And so, yes, they would have a portion of the blame. In fact, even the attackers may even have a portion of the blame, because why do you go attack anyway? But you realize that the ultimate action that has to be taken to insist and ensure that the right thing is being done is at the top there. And
okay, so I get your point, that everybody took a part in the violence that erupted. Everybody took a part in someone losing his life. So they must be punished for it. But who does the punishment?
No, that is not just what I mean. I'm saying that everyone may be blamed. The way Gerald is blaming the security, Jerome is blaming the security systems. I can also, somebody else who was in on the pitch that day can also decide to tell his story and say, no, it is the fault of one of the spectators or one of the fans. Yeah. But I'm saying that at the end of the day, there is order that has to come in place, and there is somebody at the top who is in charge of making sure that once everything has gone wayward, everyone hasn't done their work right, I come in and make sure somebody goes home for not doing something that they were supposed to do. Somebody is jailed for doing something that they did and they were not supposed to do. Someone is persecuted, you understand, in the public's eye, for everyone to know that the law is working. And at the end of the day, inform Ghanaians that you have severe consequences to face when you toe down a certain line. And the person I'm talking about is the president. Trust me, his voice is so much. This is a man who was supposedly elected by the people and who represents the people, who is supposed to be sort of the father of the people.
Supposedly?
I don't want to go there, but yeah, supposedly. Like, just...
supposedly the father of the people. He is.
No, I didn't say supposedly. I said supposedly is elected. And the rest I said he's supposed to be the father of the people. Okay. You understand? Okay. He's supposed to be representing the people. He is the one people look up to when we have issues like this. And when we just calculate the trend, you realize that violence is winning and then the law is losing, because it keeps happening and nothing is being done about it. And you see, the terrifying part of it is when a minority leader came out and mentioned that we are against it. The issue is, whenever something happens, there is always a committee being set up, an investigation that never ends or just dies out, and no one knows anything, no one has heard anything. In this modern age, where we have live updates of incidents that are happening. I mean, about 30 years ago, I'm not sure it would have been easy for you to get a video coverage of these things that happened in KNUST on the page of Ayawaso, Techiman South. You wouldn't have gotten it. But these days, you get live coverage. You see somebody, an individual standing there giving you pictures. For instance, Ejura, we saw a military man kneeling down, giving a targeted shot. I'll come there later and, we'll talk about the details of what happened in Nigeria. But I'm just saying that sometimes to exhibit some sort of leadership and give assurance to the people, when these things happen in plain sight, with everybody who has a smartphone having access to snapshots of the videos that happen, you realize that it is important that you take some swift action to assure the people that something is being done.
So, for example, let's go to KNUST for what happened at KNUST. How do we blame the president for what happened at KNUST?
KNUST is a university, and it's under it's in Ghana. It's a government university. Perfectly. The only way and the best way I can blame the president is that for students like that, students who are probably less than 25 or around that area, around that age, throwing with so much force stools and chairs at opponents.
There were knives and other sharp objects as well.
Sharp objects, you get me? Throwing it at, let me just call them opponents, with that much passion and vigor in them. It only tells you that they feel comfortable or they feel emboldened to do it. So I'll blame the president in the light that all these things that have been happening in the past, nothing has been done about it. So I'm telling you, so a young child who is probably less than, who is around 18 and watches the news, is an adult enough to understand the news and things that have been happening, you wouldn't be surprised, you shouldn't be surprised if they appear in school somewhere and just a small argument with their colleagues decide to to draw a knife. Of course, they might not have or be in possession of a gun, but draw a knife because it is something I can do. It is something that when people get angry, they do. So that is how I will blame the president for. So it goes, and it is instilling a certain culture.
But
it
don't you
needs to
think
be
that
cut short.
Fights in school, well, this was quite extreme.
This is extreme.
But fights in schools are normal, where somebody angers you, you throw a blow. I mean, so and you have some of them standing there and giving fans. They like it.
So,
but this one is just one of those that erupted into something else.
It's not fights in schools that are normal. Conflict is normal everywhere.
Okay.
And people behave, should I say, react to conflict very differently. There are some people who feel they are strong and they'll decide to throw a blow. But you just said, this is extreme. I thought it was even just chairs. And a chair can really hurt a person and kill a person. But they actually drew weapons. So it is extreme. Conflict everywhere, including the comfort of your home, is normal. That is how human beings will live. So it's not the issue about conflict. It's the issue about extreme violence in the conflicts that we have. I mean, why is the police there? Since time immemorial, everyone there has been conflict issues everywhere in Ghana, and the police is there to help us, settle some of these issues. But the violence that people are attaching to these conflicts are so deadly, it's becoming threatening and depressing. And it is because it has been a trend. And you know how human psychology is. When there is something going on, be it good or bad, and it's being entertained for a long time, people adapt to it. It becomes a culture, sort of. That is why you go to very rural areas, or should I say slums, and there is that culture of, thug groups. The least fight, you realize that somebody draws a weapon, because in that area, you realize that it's a culture over there. So this culture is spreading to other parts, and the government is doing nothing about it. The president is being silent. And to tell me that he expressed condolences by writing, look, you are a leader here. I don't know who is in charge, who is the head of Metro TV, but you realize that you go to institutions where, for instance, maybe a school, there is a very violent incident that has happened, and it's very disheartening. And probably the vice chancellor or the headmaster doesn't, deal directly with those things. But sometimes it is so bad and so pitiful that you would see the vice chancellor or the headmaster come down to the people, talk to them, make them know that, look, this message has reached me, and I'm shocked. You do not deserve this.
I think at the time the vice president went to Ijra, the president was not also in town. I think it was not in town.
No, he was in town.
The day the vice president went to Ijra.
You see, the vice president decided to go to Ijra. The day before, what about the 2 days after the incident happened? Why are we only situating it on when the vice president went there? It could have even been after the vice president went there. The fact is, we just want to feel that fatherly love and attention. That, okay, I'm seeing all these things, and we are going to get to the bottom of it. In fact, when the investigation even delays, you would realize that people in Ejura or whatever may feel relaxed because the president himself has spoken to us, has come down to speak to us. And so we are sure that even if it takes a month, something is going to be done about it. But we have a leader who
the
has fallen short.
Visit is insignificant?
I think it's insignificant. And in my opinion, yes, and in my opinion, it is just a strategy to keep promoting him as a presidential candidate. Yes.
Oh, that's an allegation.
Yeah. I said in my opinion, and I hold it is just, and I am not tagging it, or should I say, I don't want you to take responsibility.
But did he tell you he's running for president?
I am saying we are in Ghana.
No,
4 years will come.
Did he tell you he's running for
president? You do not want. Dr. Baumia doesn't know me. He's not my friend. You do not want Dr. Baumia to tell me something before I decide to...
You read in between the lines.
Before I read in between the lines. I am predicting, and I have heard, and I can't hide it. This isn't like any bad politics I'm doing. Yes, that is what he's doing. Yes, I've heard. And I am predicting, and we are here. And I would be on this show again.
But you cannot use rumors to make your statement on GMG's platform, for it to be taking hook, line, and sinker.
Did you hear the question you asked me? You asked me, is it significant or is it insignificant?
In his passing,
and I said, in my opinion.
Okay.
In my opinion, because of the knowledge, or should I say the information I have. So you can say
yeah,
that,
but
of course.
I'm saying that even with the information you have, it's an information that's only rumored. He has never put a pen on a paper, or you haven't seen a flyer with his head on it saying President 2024.
Well, that is to say, not president. They will go for primaries before he becomes president.
Well,
so that's,
I mean,
in any way, I'm just saying that. Fine, this is Metro TV. You can put that aside. But the way I'm confident, I'm just saying that the time will come where we can talk about this.
No, we'll take back the words because he hasn't. Told
you can
anyone.
take back the words, but I'm just happy that I've said it anyway. So I take it back. And Anne is telling me to take it back. But I'm happy I've said it because at the end...
Anne is telling you to take it back. Which one is which?
Anne is telling me to take it back.
So she's taking it back.
So I have done what Anne is telling me to do.
Yeah.
But I am glad that I said it anyway because viewers will pen it down. And then one day we'll discuss it again. But let's just go on to... so I've taken it back, right? So let's just go on to what we're discussing. You need to show certain extents of leadership, you understand? Sometimes when you feel Ghanaians are traumatized, various families are traumatized by these happenings. There are several allegations to what the president's interest may be. The least you can do is to get down to the people. But I am not surprised because I feel and strongly feel that the president has a deficiency in his love for Ghanaians. We expected so much, but for you to sit down, the first Ayawaso West incident, we gave excuses. Techiman South, there wasn't even any investigation. We gave excuses because probably the receiving end would have been NDC, and so no one gave a damn about it. And then gradually it has been building up. The Ijura incident, before that, Kaka's death. Who happens to share the name with my friend here?
No. It's Kaka, not Saka.
So
the one who died.
Yeah, the one who died.
It's Kaka.
Kaka's death. And the Ijura incident, and the Y incident, and the football incident, and the KNUST incident. And it is growing. I said earlier that every week there is an additional report on some violence that went on somewhere, and there is very little that we are doing about it. So I do not just blame my security forces. I just don't blame them. I blame the president and his government. They are in charge of this. Look, we can go down. As I said, it's a pyramid. We can go up. So from the security forces, we have somebody who is leading the IGP, who's leading the police, who works with the IGP. You get me? It is the president that works with the IGP, or should I say he works with the defense minister before he works with the president. And all these are silent, and we decide that, oh, the one in the middle should be held responsible. What are the ones at the top doing to probe the one in the middle to give account?
So let's go back to the school. In a picture of what we saw, or the videos of what we saw at KNUST, we have students who are going for elections. They are now at each other's throats. The police obviously is not working in KNUST on a daily basis. So, I mean, at the elections, well, we expect a certain level of security to be kept during the elections. But I don't know, I haven't gotten the information, accurate information on what exactly, or which part of the process they've gone through, or the level they have gotten to as far as the SRC elections concerned.
It was the vetting.
So this is just the vetting. So I don't expect security experts maybe at the vetting. It's just vetting.
But they were there.
But they were there.
You know, it's like protocol, you know, for something like that.
But the police was there.
Yeah,
you have
information
that the police was
there.
there.
Yes, I have
During
information.
the vetting.
During the vetting. And as I'm saying, it's just protocol. It's not as if they foresaw something coming on. It's just protocol. And it's for every election, especially for a tertiary institution like KNUST, for every election, there's a presence of the police. But of course, not in their numbers, as they would have been if like there was an actual attack, but to ensure the smooth proceedings of things, and just in case anything happens, because mostly that is why the police even do, or should I say, guard some of these events, just in case there is any violence
so they're
or any issue.
Yes,
preemptive. And then they take force, and sometimes if it's very bad, they call for reinforcement. So they were there. The police was there, and it was just the vetting. But I told you my opinion about the SRC elections and why I think I still have to blame the president. These are kids. okay, like young people, young students.
University,
They are not kids. That's why I corrected myself. Young students, you understand? It can go down. It started with very grown adults in politics who were fighting at an election. And then it was the general election. We thought it was normal. Now it is in the university. When would we be surprised when it goes to secondary schools and SHS? I don't want that to happen. I would be appalled if that happens. But you can see the trend is taken. And
so Saka, I want you to respond to me before we go for a breather. Yes. The students, I couldn't imagine how to link the president to what happened at KNUST until she said that it's almost as if there's a general sense of indiscipline in terms of security, and that is what has trickled down to a university for this situation to erupt. Do you agree?
Before I even go there, I will resist the temptation of making this about His Excellency the President, and by extension and the logic of Jifa, making it about politics and making it about the next vote and whoever takes over from His Excellency the President. She didn't take it back.
Yes, it's true. I didn't take it back.
She didn't take it back. It's on record.
She took it back.
Someone might not watch the bit that she says she's taking it back. It's on record. And we need to. I'll resist that temptation because of the respect for the well-being of a Ghanaian and what the NPP government stands for. Based on her logic, the president should be addressing the KNUST issue too, because these are Ghanaians too. So now, violence unfortunately erupts somewhere and the president must talk. Is that what we want to get to?
No, she's not saying, okay, so let's get it straight. She's not saying the president must talk. She's saying that there's a general sense of indiscipline. When you say people, and because people are not being punished for what they,
it's encouraging that act.
So yes, exactly. So we're encouraging it to the extent that's gotten into the schools.
Continue.
Mm-hmm.
When you say general indiscipline,
yeah,
I can identify with that because these things shouldn't be happening. But who are involved? Ghanaians. We are. We don't take responsibility from those who are supposed to make sure things are done and done right. But the indiscipline that we show at our various levels is what degenerates. It's like having you, not you per se, someone doing the wrong thing all the time and meeting up with another group of people who've also been doing the wrong thing all the time. It's in multiple folds. Indiscipline is being informed by a certain sense of entitlement by all of us. And it's time we start telling ourselves the truth. And that's based on the first submission of being sincere with ourselves. Mm-hmm. We can go back when it comes to violence. We can go back when it comes to all these things, but it is not necessary. It has to end at a point. President is the father of the nation. No doubt about that. He's the first gentleman of the land. Mm-hmm. He must show concern for whatever happens. But this is the case where you have Ghana. This is not Ghana against another nation. This is civilians as against security. All Ghanaians. A lot of angles. What does a leader do? A leader who cares about his people, a leader who is serving and making sure that his priority is making sure everybody gets their due, depending on what the situation is. What does a leader do? A leader goes to the bottom of what the issues are. And that is what the president has done. Instructed his minister to set up an inquiry into it. A 3-member team has been set up, and they report on the 9th of July. Why do you want to jump the gun? I won't share in the pessimism of Jifa, because it's becoming too... Why do you even... and most of the time, when people say things about you, it's actually who they are. Probably they wouldn't have done anything about it. It's not all about the talk. It's not all about the showing of sympathy. It's not all about the donations. But it's about making sure...
Exactly. But you want to donate. So if it's not all about, then why are you even doing it?
Jifa, you wanted the president to go down. And I'm telling you, these are customs that we follow. But it's not all about that. What is paramount?
Let's hold on.
What is paramount is coming out with what the issues are.
And we have never received that. We have never received that. When have we even gotten to the bottom?
We'll be back shortly.
In Ghana and in Africa, there is only one place to look to get that luxurious design and decor for your offices and homes. Visit Jamila Home. We give you the climax of luxury wherever you find yourself. Presidential and executive office furniture, living room set, dining set, stunning mirrors, adorable wallpapers, lovely king and queen size beds, valuable antiques and antique goods, beautiful chandeliers and more. Into the bargain, we provide caring customer service, prompt delivery service, skilled and artistic full house design and decor services, and free decor ideas for your space. Our products and service is unparalleled, boasting of top-tier clients all over the globe. Jamila Home, home of first-class quality furniture, beautiful chandeliers, and antiques.
Masa, jam Maria, I'm kind of coffee. I am no more budget born jam. Have a beer, you can
It's the logo the bottom. Where you say it's the local channels na mo and so pictures near clear. A 5 times better. As other channels that could be your hormone. So what I mention when I'm racking away. Oh, what the pictures.
Who knows tomorrow?
What a picture. What you AD plus decoder or multi TV and now Electroland agent PR natural local channels now HD the here is better
star 879 hash
numbers from people box and now the activate AD channels now. You can
get an HD Plus decoder from now till the 9th of August for just $89.99 Ghana cedis and enjoy 3 months free subscription. Enjoy all the excitement and live sports action in the HD Plus Air Bosso Philippines promo. Promo lasts from 7th June to 9th August 2021. Visit hd-plus.com.gh or call 024-243-9872 for more info.
Half a nose for good things.
Are you tired as a consumer in Ghana when it comes to issues that confront you as a consumer? Worry no more. Kofi Capito, I'm here to give you the information, all that you need to make sure that your right is protected as a consumer. We have too many laws and agencies that should protect the rights of the consumer. I'm here to give you the information that will help and assist you to get goods and services delivered to you without any worries. Watch The Capito Show on Metro TV.
Welcome back. You're still watching Good Morning Ghana. I'm still in the studio with Laura Tisaka and also Jifatega. But the show is also proudly sponsored by X Natural Mineral Water. So we're dealing with the issue of security. AU Farouk sent this from Tamale. He says, good morning to you. Yes, I mean the next president, John Dramani Mahama, has said it all. The incompetence of the Nadi's government on insecurity in Ghana is disgusting and disheartening. Fix the country, he adds the hashtag. But Mago also says that I'm watching you live. Mago, keep watching until we're done. Henry from Kofodia says that too much lawlessness in the country. Sometimes I ask myself whether we have leaders in our beloved country. Because of mobile phones, soldiers beat up civilians in war, including the PRO of Upper West Regional Coordinating Council. Ghana police allow Shatta Wale. I think I saw the pictures of that. I mean, if you have the Shatta Wale pictures, let's have it. Now they will call me mischievous. But the Shatta Wale pictures, when I saw it, I was really, really upset. I was so upset. Ghana police allow Shatta Wale and Infinix to hold a mini rally, but will not allow citizens to carry out their constitutional rights. Nothing will stop the citizens to carry out their constitutional rights. Annie, please, we don't have the textbooks to teach our students at various government basic schools. Talk about it for us. The government spokesperson on your show. Okay, we have heard. We will see. We're still following up. But I think last week we gave you an information that it's been given out for printing. So in due course, you should receive them. I'm not sure why it has delayed. Anyway. Kofi Capito says that undercover security agents don't wear official uniform. That's why you call them so. Tell Madam Saka. Thank you, Kofi. And that's the debate I was trying to have with you. I mean, all the arguments I put forward. In fact, when you go to Singapore,
security aspect.
So many years ago when I went to Singapore, police was not wearing uniform. I don't know if they're doing that now, but they were not wearing uniforms. And you will be there on the street and the police officer will be by you. And you will know that's a police officer. But that's a police officer, maybe. So maybe that's their way of checking the people. But that's not our practice in Ghana. When you see a police officer, you see a police officer. The uniform must speak.
We have people who don't wear uniform, Annie.
Yes, but they are undercover. I mean, if they're undercover, we should put it in the right perspective.
Undercover doesn't
dress. They are not with beards and dreadlocks.
Yes, undercover doesn't necessarily mean be invisible.
So being in beard and dreads is now our new outlook.
You never know what
then the police
dreads that have grown for years.
Don't let us just
dreads that have grown for about 10 years.
Being undercover doesn't necessarily mean
beards that have grown for about 3 years.
You are giving us a different definition.
No, being undercover doesn't necessarily mean being invisible. Then how do you do your investigation?
So your invisibility is what? Having the uniform on, but wearing beard and dreadlocks
that have grown over 10 years. Let's add that because then has the dreadlocks.
After an assignment, these things come up. Annie, we can go on back and forth with it. Security agencies operate within a certain remit. When we get the information. Information.
Saka, if you meet a police officer,
why are you using my grandfather?
No, you in person. If you meet a police officer,
why are you calling me by my grandfather?
Okay, Laura too.
Yes, please.
Laura. If you meet a police officer,
yes,
in dreadlocks,
yes,
and in beard, won't you be worried?
Where did you meet them?
You saw pictures. No, don't ask me a question.
No, you saw pictures. Did you see them physically?
Will you be worried?
Seriously?
You saw pictures. Did you see them
physically?
You have to cross-check. You have to cross-check. What is this person's assignment on that day? You get it. People need a certain outlook for their assignment that they go. Most of these people, like one of the gentlemen whose picture is on one of the front pages. Have you seen his normal look?
And can I chip in?
He has a normal look, but when he's on assignment on other activity, he has different looks.
Okay,
you get it.
Okay, hold on,
so
hold on.
Until we're able to verify some of these things from the police administration, and I don't sit here talking as a security expert, and I am not ready to come here and sitting there and speculating. Police, security use different kinds of strategy. Okay. Let's be able to double check some of these things. Because this picture that was even going around happens to be false alarm, because the guy was on duty on a certain operation. Okay. And you realize that even with military and the police, apart from the official uniform that has their tags, their ranks and other things, they have what the military call, is it the OG or something. The police also have working attire. The ones that you're seeing them in doesn't have the rank, the name tags and all that. These institutions have different uniforms. So don't let's just assume that because it's black or because it's camouflage.
You're confusing what we know as official police. Okay, you let me read this one. Let me be fair to viewers as well. I'll be back to you. Good morning, Annie. I'm heartbroken and disappointed to see one of the victims of atrocity being perpetrated by the unqualified soldiers in Nigeria, one leg being amputated. Okay, so it's a leg rather. Yes, I mean, I saw the picture. One leg has been amputated. And neither the president nor the vice president, not even giving government officials, visited him to show mercy or sympathize with the dying souls. The victims are being left to their fate. And no wonder Jean Mensah is being protected. That's an allegation. It's not for me. The insecurity in the country is becoming increasingly worrying. We're in leadership crisis. God save Ghana, you say. Good morning, Annie. A committee was set up for. I also was gone. I was a victim. The committee was set up and nothing came out of it. Good morning, as usual. You look stunning. Thank you. You were a victim as what? You also suffered gun wounds, or you were beaten, or what? If you can even text me back after the show, I'll be grateful, because I think we need to give feedback to government whether or not their efforts have yielded any results. If it hasn't, it's not efforts we are going to praise, it's the results. So Wolayo in Akwetia says that under no circumstances will we speak goodwill about a Jura shooting incident, no matter who triggered the mayhem that led to the killings, but to engage in unnecessary party politics with it also is very anarchy to our nation. Maybe you want to say anarchic, you're right. Anyway, I agree with you, but I don't think we've done partisan discussion on this issue. This one says that at Gabi's father's funeral, Simon of Parliament, no COVID protocol was observed. Watch the video. Baumia turned the place into flag bearership campaign grounds. Uganda's President Yoweri Museveni has appointed his wife as the country's sports minister in her maiden speech. The new minister said football in Uganda is going down, but the problem is not only a Uganda problem, but rather it's an Africa problem. That's why no African country qualified for the ongoing Euro 2020. We're not making any efforts in this country. We have similar situations here in Ghana, you say. Thank you for that. Larry Dogbe says that we are window dressing by the army boss, and he sends me a front page of the paper, the Herald. It says that Peter Meu lands Ghana in, okay, I think I read it here, but the headline that I read, Army Commander others in window dressing military brutality. He says that he himself has been named as one of the brutalities, of these brutalities. So the army commander himself has been named. Larry, that's what you're saying? We just hope that the investigation will carry all these details and then give us the accurate results. So, down below, Brimstone from Aposika says that it seems as a nation we have come to accept this template that lets the crime be committed after the police call for inquiry. And that's what I don't get. And it's what I was trying to find out from Gerald. Why should we even create the room for someone to go and cause trouble, and then after which we set up a committee or we investigate, and when people die. So that's unfortunate precedent we are setting. The more citizenry feel unsafe, the harder we become, because we psych ourselves that the system doesn't protect each other. So we must protect ourselves. This scenario explains why there are numerous unlicensed guns in the hands of the citizenry. My regards to Dr. Nanama Brown Kruche, you say. Okay, so Akosia says, guess Akosia, Jifa has successfully opened the door to pin anything that happens anywhere on a sitting president, irrespective of the actors. Good morning, Annie. Thank you. Good morning, Akosia. I read them. He said, read them. So he said I should read it and send her 3 CDs Momo. Because she doesn't have money. She wants 3 CDs. So I'll send it after the show, Akosia. This one says, hello, Annie, good morning. With the security, there are a lot of things with the security, there are a lot of things that goes into it. Even anti-robbery squad in the Ghana police sometimes actually allow their beard to grow just for the special operations. But the system has allowed hooligans and hoodlums to enter into the service, which has lowered its professionalism, you say. So we have something we call the anti-robbery squad that keeps their beard. So do they also wear uniforms, or they go undercover? Don't they go undercover if they have to keep their beard? Because generally the information we should have as a public is that the police doesn't wear beard and cut their hair. So maybe you can come clear. I'll be grateful. You can come clear with but thank you for the information. Moses Fongbawe says that, Annie, you're right. From your civic education knowledge, you might be tempted to drive away from a bearded policeman who is wearing an earring and without a name tag, which could result in your being gunned down in cold blood. Next time, it could be your host from the NPP. They should stop making propaganda out of everything. These security men were uneducated, don't appreciate the fuss about human rights, and the earliest we get them out, the better for us, and for us now and in the future. You say, Moses, send that in from Huawei. And I'm serious about it. If I meet any police officer, unless they tell me otherwise, you're dressed in a police uniform, but with beard and locks, I'll drive away from you. I won't even stop first of all to even drive away. There is nothing wrong with an undercover security agent wearing a beard or pretend to be junkie, but cannot be in uniform. Exactly my point. Never, never. If you don't know, you don't know. Good morning. Kofi Capito sent the second part of his message again, so thank you for that education. Jifa, I'll let you come in now.
Okay, so I just wanted to state clearly, okay, before we continue, I just wanted to state that the guy whose leg has been amputated, I'm so sorry. It's so bad that he would have to live with that for the rest of his life. But I also want to thank His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. He was swiftly there when the thing happened, 2 days ago, and visited the guy in the hospital. We thank him so much for showing love for us. I want to, before going forward, reply to Akosia. It's just like, because, you know, he's our colleague, you understand? So I just want to reply, Akosia, that the number one sufferer...
Do the most modest reply.
Very modest.
Thank you.
She's my friend.
Right.
The number one sufferer, that number one victim of everything being pinned down on him as a leader, be it whatever, as little as somebody sleeping in his office, is His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Let's be truthful. In 2016 upwards to 2012, everything was his fault. Everything that was in court, everything that his appointees were doing, everything that we were not even sure of was his fault, and the MPP stated it clearly. Akosua Loratu and the other communicators are the ones who succeeded into pinning down everything to be the president. And I mean, we took blame for everything, we took responsibility, and we did the needful. If you are here today, if I am here today, telling viewers that this problem of violence is because of Akufo-Addo's incompetence and negligence. It is because communicators within the NPP and the NPP as a whole taught me that I should blame everything on the president. You understand? So Akosua shouldn't say that I am the one who is initiating this. They, the NPP as a whole, initiated it, and we have several of such instances. And I mean, people today always say, hey, and we used to blame Mahama for everything, and we used to blame Mahama for everything. People apologizing and, you know, showing regrets of what they did in the past. So, as I say, like, this is history.
So, Honorable Clementa Park sent something. You remember I talked about the video of the president, former President Mahama, involved in an accident. Yeah. So, he says, JM motorcycle accident, 10 facts to note. The accident happened in Kumasi, not Ho. JM convoy did not hit the motorcyclist. 3, motorcyclists ran into the road construction traffic separator just before Kumasi Airport roundabout. 4, accident caused slow traffic. 5, JM vehicle arrived on the scene and he spots first respondents try to get rider and passenger on the feet contrary to the first aid protocols. 6, JM jumps out of his vehicle and Riley inquires if anyone has called an ambulance. That I heard in the video. 7, he helps to learn losing their clothes and then asks, yes, I saw that too, asks to keep them lying in position while it helps to assess their injuries. And because I have done first aid, I thought that was the right position. 8, one complains of pain in the elbow and leg. 9, the other complains of back and waist pain. 10, with no ambulance in sight, JM stays and helps supervises the loading of the patients into the Good Samaritan vehicle according to the first aid protocols. Thank you for the details and the correct information, because that's a social media video. I didn't know the facts to it. Thank you. Yeah.
And Annie, what you've just read, and that is the right thing that happened, because he left our training to Kumasi, and that was when it happened.
Okay. Oh, okay. So it was from Ho to Kumasi.
Exactly.
Okay.
And you just read that this man is a hero and he's a father. For what he did, he needs to be commended.
Okay. Chukwafo says, please ask our hometown girl Akosua to tell us who we should blame for the general insecurity. Who were they blaming when they were in opposition? In opposition, then candidate was quick to congratulate Ghanaians appearing on X Factor. People are dying in the hands of the so-called soldiering under his command. Tell Akosua to send me the 3 CDs through you. I'm sure she will do so. All right, so but who blame Mahama? Citizens of Ghana, not me, Kozi. Akosua is adding that.
It's the citizen, but not he.
Yes,
not she. But you see, when you go on that, when we go,
it's not about the votes. It's about the communication that was going on within the NPP.
When we go,
it's not about the votes.
Jifa, thank you. When we go on that tangent, yeah, we had an NDC activist being gunned down in 2014. Do we blame former President Mahama? Do we? So don't let us be going on that route of trying to secure our next vote or do unnecessary. As I've told you, we shouldn't go on that thing.
For which he was voted out.
Come again?
For one of which he was voted
We're talking
out.
about blame game here. We're not
no,
talking
but I'm
about
saying that you're going back to it.
Annie,
yes.
She's talking about incompetence and all that. We know the purveyors of incompetence. Don't let us.
We know you are worse.
So
we know that you try to tag us incompetence and you did 100 times worse. So you are grossly incompetent as a party. This is not me saying it.
This is per
your assessment. This is per your assessment.
You went for a training.
This is per your assessment. What incompetence is? You have done times 2. And therefore,
okay, make your point. Our time is up.
It's as simple as that.
No, at the end of the day, we all know the purveyors of incompetence and the but what is happening now is lives that have been lost. Everybody should be concerned. All this trying to pitch it politically and not a necessary thing to do. Let's all follow what the inquiry. If we have any information, let's give it to them. Let's get to the bottom of this. We can't continue losing lives.
That's Lara Musa Saka,
we can't continue losing
also
lives like this.
For the MPP
and
we
must get to the bottom of this. As for the NDC,
member of the NDC,
they'll keep protecting their votes, but that's not what we are.
My name is Annie.
The well-being of the
my name is Annie
Ghana.
Thank you for watching, and thank you to Jerome for speaking to us earlier on as well on the sports violence that erupted during the weekend. We're back tomorrow with Good Morning Ghana. Thank you.
Metro TV, insightful and inspiring moments.
Hallelujah.
All right, Mama Kwaba Edoba Jumedia Fenu the Graft Johnson show. Medin the Reverend the Graft Johnson and Yasanso Abba Domi Ebabsra Yamami Georgina Nyawa na emuna abeya do ye ni other things ede amano na ene no ye ne nkomo no enche dodo eno nti ye bedi kan etwa ye ho ba ye twa ye ho na se ye ba ye bema akohwe interview a edi kan a ye ne ye mame eye ewo ne fie no ye wia na na aka nyina no ye de atoa so ede amamo uguso hwe the Graft Johnson show nyame onhira pendula
And when you get there, there's a hand to hold. I believe when you up there for people like
me pacho et saying
Pacho ye
udin e de saying
your friend me Grace Damashi
Grace okay pacho mami unim ne fie saying
me nim no na onyin sei na obeye 17-18 years
but see I say we 40 years
na me ne tena alogboshi na ho na yeti e na omudi kan to jaye ansa na ye nso ye ba ha ye ba e betena igbe town nti ye betu omo ho ene ye san free ho ene ye beto half plot bi wa ha yeti so na omo nso aba ha ena ene na atlantic me na yeti say family friend
nti see akwa de might say busuya okay na edie mpa na ye no
be ye fie 9 ni ena de ni start ye na community nurses na omuchin no ebi ba ha na ombe no lab na omka say sugar won ni mojem but odi ya agro nti preocupa no be bubu ka form ofe ontimi nanti ena ni swati ya besine nti onko be bia nti edu Sunday sa kwotena ekwan ho stress ka
me pacho mami obomma bi anase wanwoda etisɛn
pacho owo mami no ni ba peni no dia waware kra wo be 4 ba o mani mami nchen on mehwe no on chese on ma otumi ba krom ha kra ma ha
onim se ne mami yare se
o waden se ne mami hwe no adiketi no fine ni mami hwe no mi de mi ne omo netena entimi ni mami hwe no na kitua no na ono nso sebi onye papa emso nam ha sisi a ono de ono ni kitua no asa mienu na no wo
ye sure say we hunu bebi oda hwe ne dem oni mpa wo oni bebi a oda nti bebi a hunu ye no ehwa na adesa wachia ne ho ato na wada mesre emwa ben ne betumi aye ede aboa ye maami e pacho me mbisa ye mu kakra no kire say maami wei na opa adwuma pa yese oyobia na opa adwuma pa banti onye bia beka say oye ni hafo ompa adwuma ena na brabo akoyesi na emum no eye bribi ena di na du bia wadu yi saa bribi ku no empare me ne omienu de but ebetumi ayewo ebetumi ayeme ene ti mesre kakra bia wo betumi de aboa ya maami no yenye ne saa me pacho story we me fam ma say hwene keke na emum no se na be ya ekeka ye nsase a ye betumi ade aboa no ohia moa sem ne omienu ya moa na onya moa wo ba bia ena me ne wo kasa yi ne mba mienu no ba ko na ono hwe no na onhwe no sisi a no ono de o ba bi but na otoso mienu no ono so sebe na adwene enye papa nti ono mpo no ontumi nkoye adwuma mma wahwe ne maame Osanso na boni beka so eye minor or ya koda onyini ye obedi be 9 to be 12 years. 12 years. Inti no adwuma bia ni ho a betumi afa akwala ote sa se omba ya adwuma ne yentua ne ka. Ghana mbre mu no etomra. Inti no mesre me no mienu ye betumi aye mami adoye. Bible say inshiranka nioma cheni oje. Enti mesre wo yankeka ya koma mbom yankeka ya adwene mbom yankeka kakra ye woni mbom yemfa ye mami emwa mema ye ntwen ema onwu ansa yakasa yenyanka na nke beboa no mesre akwanya aba se obi ema wakwanya se hira obi a na obiebie onhira pono kwan e de amawo enti no ena me ne wudi nkomo yi me besrew but me sanso ebie onhira pono e de amawo pacho so obi pese oboa mami ya edemwa wa oben no emwa be na wo hwa mami we ohia
pacho mo amehia ni se duane a obedi eni baby obeda na hospital doctor for nhwe no na omonsa ne yare se Ghana for timi bua na otimi sorry gina ne nanso a nka mede nyame ase se de be ya ni bedding meda obi so bio pacho because area ha nyina oni hwefo bia agise me ani me mma no
ni din komo no yen report abako abiga ni din komo no amayen ya oti oyi ya sutire se na se ahye
nua no nyina wu ni mama nso na anu no wu ya esi no 1 year kra mai be 6 months ni
okay nti se oti ono oni nua bia
ni nua omu nyina wu
wow
ifia no mu nyina atena
omu nyina wu mama ati say
ayo
pa Vanessa okay and also sorry what did he
Nebe
who trended okay sisi apa no doctor say we are your own say den you
na metis
aya wo be mfie sanye 4 years no aya wo work hospital but work hospital work hospital but I check this year no utumi sorry
na me
I didn't know utumi sorry then e buy
ma yo minimo
ana ya we na masia utumi sorry no sama 4% boa won e de mpa na wo pe
so I wouldn't be
unya bibia bi okay enti no mama ya bro bibi kakra so bina bibia di kan na wo se upesika upesika menim se me ma me nso epe sika kakra se na be ya bibi wo ho ayamfa anka ho amana ono ankasa ebetumi e dia to enti no bidi bibi kakra bi emma no we eye 200 Ghana cedis se na me kan ye no meti na 7 no just 2 days pe na me dia boa me ho a na be emmoa enti sei enti no emmoa no hyeda nso de nenso kakra bi a ebetumi aso na sene no eno na me dia ma no na me nim se mo a mo hwe ye no nso no mbe ye emmoa kese ya mpelifo ka se na ewo odonsem no na odema eno enti no kakra me wo no efire me nchen no na me de ma no the kani na abuma ye nam almost be 500 cedis equal 700 cedis na ye dia yesa adia ye de ma no within 2 days and so de but ye nim se mo hwe no mo be ye moa ohia mpa ohia tv ohia fan o se ye o show etumi de no pa o se o show etumi de no nti no o hwe ne dan o demu a otumi hu se o show de e bi de no nti e be sere ye we dia ma no ye keka ye nsase ne fa kese pa no embe dum no no hunu se osu e de kire Ghana for no Ghana for abeye nemwa nti mama me ma 200 cedis why
amen thank you for that I love them that's why you love me to my God them for me
I say I should tell you that she loves you the way you love her. It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. Mesre, and you're saying an open no. And you're saying an open no. All right, me try me ho aba egusu share the DeGraft Johnson show. Said the American me din the Reverend DeGraft Johnson. Mama we di kan akɔhwɛ interview e di kan a ye ne ye maami eye ye kakra. Ogusu hwɛ na obi abɛpɛ sɛ bɛboa dwumadie na me pacho number no biom ɛda so ɛyɛ 0242509753. Ɛyɛ 0242509753. 0242509753. Me pacho sa number yi se e bia opɛ sɛ oboa dwumadie na kakra bia bɛsɛnde bia no ye bɛboaboa no na ye de bɛyɛ amanfo ehia mmoa no adɔyɛ. Last me di kan me ba ha me bedi nkomo no me ne me maame bi edi nkomo wa ɔno na ɔsoso na sen kakra ɔboa maame no ɛnɛ nso a ye ba ha no ɔwɔ ha ye pɛsɛ ni di nkomo ɔbɛkyɛ ye nsakrae kakra aba ɛwɔ maame na setine mu ye wia na afi ne nkomo bi a wɔso bia no ye de ato aso maame ye sanso da wase biom
das ni sedan ni ho asidai nyame dia
efi embra ye ba ha no ye ne maame ebedi enkomo no isi ano nyoma mu tisɛn
oh sese de ni mu ye nyame ado
ye ne ko hospital
ye de no ko hospital ye ko hospital ba no sese no eye kakra eye ara ye sese
ye ba na ye ko ye te sɛ omampani ye asuma ma mo de nyoma kakra nso ebre no sanete
ba cho han omo bre no nyoma
obetumi aka kakra hyen ade a mo de bre
omo bre no ntuma ɛna emu ɛna tinapa ɛna nose mask wheelchair ɛna sanitizer ɛna milk ɛna milo ɛna mama is cancel 3,000
yes no na mo de bia so na sidi na hospital okay da ye ba ha no ye hunu sɛ na ye maame no apart from sɛ ye said ne ko hospital ye nyama bi ema no ye hunu sɛ na bebi a na oda no enye ba ye be hu sɛ o mama no student mattress mienu sa na tie
ba cho ai okay omuma iska no mu ka kire nse emwa ne de okwan so banti yen start nti ye iska no bi ne ye dikoto mattress no ne ye painti dan no God so good no ye wa ha na Christ the King Roman father bin so bae nti obeka kire nse obema electrician na ba abesisi ni kania ho nsem na wa ma carpenter fo abeye adwuma endura na mu start adwuma no na mu nya nwie ene enem nso mu abeye mu abeto aso amaye
na di kan na ye ba ha no ye ma no sika kakra ye ma na aduane ena ye ka sɛ ye bɛsan ba ye de mu akɛse no ɛbɛba na sɛ wo hwɛ wo kasamfoni a wobehu sɛ asie no wo kasa die ye ma me ya bre no enwuma bebre ya bre no empa ye ma me hu sɛ ya bre no student mattress but me kan sɛ student mattress no enye emfama no nti no ya te yensem sika ato empa ya to mattress ye no kasa ye de carpet abɛsɛ dem na so hia bibia obetumi akɔ nsuo edi egum na ebia nsuo hu hia na obetumi asabi eno nso de bia ba ya ma ne TV foforo ipacho tie bibia ye de bra ye maame no enye na obi ayusu ena odi amayen se ye fambre no e sika na mbode maaye no emu bi ena ye de atoto nyoma ye de abre no ya ma no empa foforo mattress foforo TV foforo ye nim so se obo mpinifo pampers eni ntino ye to eye 5 pieces na shemu 50 ba ku bia shemu 10 nti sia no nso yama no pampers mo ye de yama kakra aka ho e de abre no ye nwie ye bekoso aye ne kan aka yama no eye fan ye nim se na fan bo ha dada nanso ye ba ye ne hu se fan na e bo ha no na enya de beboa ne nti asesa e de foforo aboho e de ama no ye bekoso aboa ye maame se de ne wo ka no enne ne kasa mu ye pa enne ne ni age be ma wo hu some of the videos are na ne ni age a osa nanso no eno nkyerɛ sɛ ɛmoa no ensiri ha because yɛma me still ɔyare ɛsɛ yɛde ne kɔ hospital biom na doctors eguso ɛhwɛ no na ne ho ɛtɔ no ɛno nti wo hwɛ a nipacho bi wo hɔ no mu a yɛ start dwumadie na ɔmboa yɛ ntil sɛ obehunu sɛ sika na aba no yɛde ayɛ bibi ansa na bɛboa yɛ a waboa yɛ nti no sɛ bia wo hwɛ na edi kan no one boy because na unya sure say na de be ma ye no ye de ba be boy maame a me pacho otofo no se be dance ni wa abrochi aha de uhu bibia live uhu say bibia ye de ba ye no ye de abeye maame ho adwuma eni ntino ebia wo so hwe na be pese be sende u kakra wa de abeboa ye ni akoso de aboa ye maame a number no eye 0242 509753 0242 509753 0242 509753 mesre some you know smart because me to me home my bre anything mesre e bia na wo hwa dwumadi wo pese be boa ye se ne kan number no ye 0242 509753 0242 mami me ti se ne ba ne ba ha sana me ti sana tie
pacho bai
aso be giden
okay mi wo ho no bai no obebi sa me say na oba kro no mu no se obesra ne maame no bai no o me hu ni maame nti obebi sa me say o ni maame won nti me bufu no kakra me bisa ne say ni maame no me nche no tie ana eno si o obebi sa me that time na ni your hospital free hospital